everybody, and welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. So far, I've been your host, Zero Yeti, and let's get into it. The first thing of the week being Oryx gazelle, better known as the Gemsbok or South African oryx. It is a species of large antelope in the genus Oryx, which is endemic to the dry and barren regions of Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, and Zimbabwe, mainly inhabiting the Kalahari and Namib deserts. Additionally, a sizable introduced population of several thousand is also present in the Chichawan Desert in the southwestern United States. Gemsbok are generally crepuscular animals which live in herds of around 10 to 40 individuals, which consist of a dominant male, a few non-dominant males, females, and their young. These antelope feed upon various grasses, brushes, roots, tubers, melons, and cucumbers, and they are themselves preyed upon by lions, hyenas, cheetahs, and leopards throughout their native range, and by cougars, Mexican gray wolves, coyotes, and the occasional jaguar in North America. To escape said predators, they can reach running speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour or 37 miles per hour, and can also utilize their horns to put up a decent defense. Reach around 6.25 to 7.5 feet or 1.9 to 2.4 meters in length, and 4 feet or 1.2 meters tall at the shoulder, with females weighing around 220 to 460 pounds or 100 to 210 kilograms, and males weighing around 400 to 530 pounds or 180 to 240 kilograms. The Gemsbok is the largest species of oryx. They are light taupe to tan in color, with long black tails and a black stripe extending from the chin down along the neck and the edge of the belly. Their legs have white socks with a black patch on the front of both the front legs. And both sexes have long, up to 33 inch or 85 centimeter straight horns. The Gemsbok is polygynous, with one resident male mating with the receptive females in a herd. Breeding occurs year-round, and the pregnant female leaves the herd just before giving birth. The gestation period lasts around 270 days, and mothers give birth to 1 to 2 offspring. The calf remains hidden for 6 weeks after birth, after which time the mother and calf rejoin the herd. The calf remains hidden the calf is weaned at around 3.5 months and becomes independent at 4.5 months. It achieves sexual maturity around 1.5 to 2 years. Under ideal conditions, a Gemsbok may live upwards of 20. Next up is Telmatobius culeus, more commonly known as the Titicaca water frog or lake Titicaca frog. It is a medium to large endangered species of frog in the family Telmatobiidae. It is entirely aquatic and found only in the Lake Titicaca basin, including rivers that flow into it and smaller connecting lakes such as Arepa, Lagunas, and Saracolca in the Andean highlands of Bolivia and Peru. There are multiple distinct forms of the Lake Titicaca frog which inhabit different depths and bays of Lake Titicaca itself, as well as various streams, rivers, and smaller lakes connected to it. The various forms of the Lake Titicaca water frog differ in the relative sizes of a dorsal shield, or the hard structure on their back, as well as relative width of the head and other morphological features, most notably coloration, being either gray, brown, or greenish above and paler below. There are often some spots which can form a marbled pattern, and the frogs of the coastal southernmost Lake Titicaca typically have striped thighs and relatively bright orange underparts. All forms can interbreed with one another. Some of the smaller forms reach around 1.6 to 3.5 inches, or 4 to 8.9 centimeters in snout to vent length, whilst larger forms get around 3 to 6.7 inches, or 7.5 to 17 centimeters, and other exceptional individuals reach around 8 inches, or 20 centimeters in body length. This marks Lake Titicaca frog amongst the largest known frogs. Compared to similarly sized frogs, the lungs of the Titicaca water frog are only about one-third of the average size. Instead, it respires through its skin, which is excessively baggy and capable of absorbing oxygen, functioning in a manner that's comparable to gills. And it sometimes performs push-ups or bobs up and down to allow more water to pass by its large skin folds. These generally bottom-dwelling animals prefer sandier and muddy substrate or areas rich in aquatic plants and smooth stones. They can be found up to from 5 to 400 feet or 1.5 to 120 meters in depth, a record amongst frogs. They feed primarily upon amphipods and snails, but are also known to eat small fish, insects, tadpoles, and worms. Titicaca water frog breeds year-round in shallow coastal waters, and a pair will typically mate for up to 3 days straight before the female lays around 80 to 500 eggs. The nest site is typically guarded by the male until the eggs hatch in the tadpoles after about 2 weeks. The tadpole stage lasts 2 to 12 months depending on food availability. And the tadpoles and young froglets tend to stay in the shallows, only moving into deeper water when reaching adulthood. Under ideal conditions, a Lake Titicaca water frog may reach sexual maturity around 2 to 3 years of age and live up to 20 years. Next up, we have Tympanucus pallidicticus, better known as the lesser prairie chicken. It is a species of bird in the grouse family, which is endemic to central North America, where it can be found throughout western Kansas, western Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle, eastern New Mexico, and southern Colorado. Here, the lesser prairie chicken predominantly inhabits grasslands, sandhills, and sagebrush shrublands, where they spend much of their time on the ground foraging for food, such as seeds, crops, leaves, fruits, or buds, and various species of insect. Lesser prairie chickens are themselves preyed upon by bobcats, coyotes, badgers, foxes, skunks, and raptors, such as great horned owls, golden eagles, prairie falcons, Peregrinatus, Cooper's, ruffed legs, and red-tailed hawks. Lesser prairie chickens rely on camouflage for protection and hide amongst shrubs and tall grasses for cover, and are known to dig small burrows, particularly during winter, reaching around 15 to 16.1 inches or 38 to 41 centimeters long, and 22.1 to 28.7 ounces or 630 to 810 grams in weight. Lesser prairie chickens have gray to brown plumage with heavy barring, which is paler on the chest. Males are distinguished by yellow eye combs accompanied by long, decorative feathers that become erect while displaying, and a pair of pink to red gular air sacs on the neck. Their most notable habit occurs during spring and fall, when males gather in lakes to display for females, using calls, inflating their air sacs, and dancing to attract mates. In addition to these shows, males will make aggressive displays towards each other, establishing territories within a lek. Aggressive behaviors include ritual postures, short flights, pursuits of other males, and fighting. If a female is impressed by a male's show, she'll proceed to mate with him. After mating, the females will dig out nest burrows underneath taller grasses, brushes, and shrubs for shade and shelter. She then lines the nest with grass, leaves, and feathers before laying some 10 to 14 eggs. After a 23-day incubation, the eggs hatch. The chicks fledge within 4 weeks, and after 8 to 10 will be left out on their own as the mother hen leaves to molt. Under ideal conditions, a lesser prairie chicken will reach temperature around 1 year of age and may live up to 13. Next up is Pseudo-Orca crassidens, better known as the false killer whale. It is a species of oceanic dolphin and the only living member of the genus Pseudo-Orca. It is found throughout the world's tropical and semi-tropical oceans between 50 degrees north and 50 degrees south in latitude. It usually inhabits open ocean and deep water areas, though it may frequent coastal areas near oceanic islands, with distinct populations occurring in the northeastern Pacific and around the Hawaiian Islands. The false killer whale is highly social and known to live in pods of 10 to 20 members, though these smaller pods can be part of larger groups, and it can travel in groups of more than 500 whales. Members stay with the pod long term and share strong bonds with family members, which is part of the reason they are known to participate in mass stranding somewhat often. False killer whales are known to occasionally form mixed pods with other dolphins and some other cetaceans, like common bottlenose dolphins, Pacific white-sided dolphins, pygmy killer whales, rough-toothed dolphins, excuse me, melon-headed whales, pantropical spotted dolphins, pilot whales, and rhesus dolphins, and may occasionally mate with and produce hybrids with bottlenose dolphins known as wolphins. False killer whales are active predators known to feed upon a variety of squid and fish, particularly wahoo, smaller sharks, tuna, and mahi-mahi. They are also known to prey upon other marine mammals, particularly the calves of smaller dolphins, as well as even sperm and humpback whales. False killer whales are themselves eaten by larger sharks and orcas, with females reach around 16 feet or 5 meters in length and 2,600 pounds or 1,200 kilograms in weight. And males reach around 20 feet or 6 meters and 5,100 pounds or 2,300 kilograms. False killer whales have a slender body with an elongated, tapered head without a beak. The dorsal fin is sickle shaped and the flippers are narrow, short, and pointed with a distinctive bulge on the leading edge of the flipper. Coloration is black or dark gray, slightly lighter on the underside. Breeding may occur year-round, with mothers giving birth to a single calf after a 15-month pregnancy. Under ideal conditions, a false killer whale may reach sexual maturity around 8 to 11 years and live upwards of 60. Next up, we have Acatenella fuscobasis. It is a species of air-breathing terrestrial pulmonate gastropod in the land snail family Acanelidae, and one of the species of snail called the Oahu tree snails, or kahuli in the Hawaiian language. They are endemic to the Hawaiian island of Oahu, where they primarily inhabit 100 to 250 square kilometer or 38.6 to 96.5 square mile range on the leeward side of the Ku'olua Mountains. These are boreal snails primarily feed upon microscopic colonies of black mold and fungi that are consumed using the snail's radula. These mold layers grow on the leaves and vegetation and the feeding of them causes no damage to the plant itself. Reaching around 0.39 to 0.63 inches or 10 to 16 millimeters in snail shell size. Said sinistral shell is ovate, with slightly convex whorls and the suture distinctly margined. The snail shell has 6 whorls, and the color is glossy white, with the last whorl being yellowish and ornamented with a medial zone on the base of brown. The aperture is white and the brown peristome is thick. The color of the main body ranges from white to a muddy black. A fuscobasis are critically endangered and face many threats including wildfires, droughts, hurricanes, logging, and in particular introduce threats such as the rosy wolf snail, garlic snails, flatworms, Jackson's chameleons, and various rats. Adult snails are hermaphroditic, having both male and female reproductive organs, and can live for many years. These are live-bearing snails which give birth to fully formed offspring rather than laying eggs. Occinoglanus occidentalis, better known as the bubu, la bubu, giraffe catfish, or African giraffe catfish, the giraffe nose catfish, and the African giraffe bagrid is a species of catfish found throughout much of the rivers, lakes, and other freshwater waterways of Africa. These somewhat sociable fish tend to live in small groups and generally prefer shallower waters with muddy bottoms. They use their large barbels to shift the bottom for substrate for food such as aquatic plants, seeds, insect larvae, and small crustaceans, as well as worms, leeches, and dead fish. Reach around 2 to 3 feet or 0.61 to 0.91 meters in length and up to 22 pounds or 10 kilograms in weight. Giraffe catfish sport large fins, a powerful tail, and an elongated face. They get their common name from their giraffe-like color pattern along their body that will gradually fade with age and become a two-tone malted brown. Mating may occur year-round, and after the eggs are laid by females, they are guarded in a nest by the males until they hatch. Under ideal conditions, a giraffe catfish may live upwards of 20 years. And our final animal of the week is Moratherium. It is an extinct genus of basal proboscidean, which lived throughout what is now northern Africa during the Eocene, some 37 to 33 million years ago. A type specimen of Moratherium, consisting of a mostly complete mandible, was unearthed from the Quasar el Sagha formation in the Fayum fossil deposits of Egypt by Charles William Andrews, who dubbed the animal Moratherium lysoni, meaning the beast from Lake Moeris. In 1902, after conducting a more thorough examination of this specimen, collected by himself and his colleague, Hugh John Llewellyn Bednell, he named a second species from the Quasar el Sagham, being M. gracile. 2 years later, Andrews would describe a new species as M. trigodon from the Jebel Quentrani formation. And in 1955, Sri Lankan artist and paleontologist Collins Edward Pierce Darayagala named 2 additional species, P. latitans and P. faroensis, based on isolated mandibular fragments. In 2006, Cyril Delmer et al. Published a paper describing a new Moratherium species, M. Cheburanar Mari, from Bir el Alter, Algeria, as well as found there to be only 3 species, M. lysoni, M. gracile, and M. cheburamarii, to be valid. Reaching around 7.5 feet or 230 centimeters in length at 2.3 feet or 70 centimeters tall at the shoulder, and weighing around 520 pounds or 235 kilograms, Moratherium was especially for a proboscidean, a fairly small, elongated animal with short legs. Like many later members of the group, it had 2 sets of tusks. The ones on the upper jaw pointed downwards, whilst those on the mandibula, or lower jaw, well, not mandibula, mandible, or lower jaw, were flat and formed a spade shape. In addition to these tusks, it retained its upper canines, though it lost the lower set. The morphology of the skull, particularly the nasal cavity, had a small taper-like proboscis or primitive trunk. Its unusual dentition and high position of the eyes and ears on its head lend evidence that Moratherium would have had a semi-aquatic lifestyle, likely living in small herds and feeding upon aquatic vegetation in swamps, lakes, river deltas, and flooded forests that it called home. Hey y'all, recently we here at Factutainment were asked to join Andy Rue's gaming gang and do a big multi-channel fundraiser for children's miracle hospitals. Thus, we have partnered with them and the charity Extra Life to raise money for families in need. There will be a donation link to our fundraiser in the video description down below. Now, we know things are rough and times are tight, and so there is no pressure to donate if you can't afford to. But if you can, just know that every dollar you donate will directly help out some folks who need it now more than ever. As always, take care of my guys, gals, and non binary pals.